Hello, followers! We're here at Speak About It HQ with Oronde,
That's me.
Shane, and Harvey the dog, who you'll see in a second. And we are so excited about our first episode of Speak About It Hot Goss. We are going to go live once a month from HQ talking about... I'm on Shane's phone. So
sorry, I wanted to make sure that we could pay attention to the comments, but instead we're just doing...
We're gonna figure it out.
Okay.
Listen, this is round one of
The
many,
hot
hopefully.
goss.
Hey, followers.
Hello, people.
All right, so we're here talking about sexting today as our first episode of Hot Goss. We're going to talk about some of the things that people say we shouldn't talk about, but you actually totally should.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a bunch of questions about sexting and consent for Oronde and Shane, who are experts in this field, perhaps?
Oh, yes.
Sexperts, would I call them?
Sexperts.
So, you guys, sexting. I feel like we should probably define it first.
Mm-hmm.
So what is sexting? What does it mean?
Do you want to go first? Or is it me?
Jump in.
So I think that almost like sex, we'll get to define what sex is and what sex
Mm-hmm.
means for us and for our partner. I think that, or with our partner. I think that sexting is very similar. If you feel like you've been sending a sext, then it is. I think that it is like a text or an image that's a little bit racier, a little bit more flirty. I think it's once you're getting to that more intimate side of things, I think that can be sexting. But I don't think there's any set rules for what exactly sexting is.
Yeah. So it can be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
It can be defined
Mm-hmm.
for yourself.
Yeah.
Cool. So then, how do you feel about sexting? Do you have a personal opinion? Do you have sort of a general thing that you apply to your own life, or that you think you would advise other people?
I'm a huge fan of sexting.
Mm-hmm.
I think sexting is a great way to help build some excitement in a relationship. It's a great way to try talking about things that maybe you're a little shy to talk about in real life, right? Texting gives us a little bit more anonymity.
Yeah.
I think in long-term relationships or distance relationships, sexting is a great way to make a connection with someone when you're not physically in the same space all the time.
Uh-huh.
It's also it's very nuanced, and I think we culturally are still figuring out the importance and implications of sexting and what that means and how to navigate that in tangible ways.
Yeah. What about you, Oronde? What are your thoughts?
I'm also a fan of sexting.
Yeah.
I think that it can be a really exciting and fun way to build up some tension and build up some anticipation before you're actually able to get in the same physical space. I think that it's a good way of building and maintaining intimacy. I feel like you and the person aren't really in the same place. So yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah. So would you say totally go for it, sext away, or do you express some caution? Do you have any suggestions for rules or boundaries around sexting?
It's complicated, right?
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was going to say that age of consent is really tricky with sexting.
Right.
Yeah.
And like age of consent for sexual activity, when you're physically with someone, it varies state by state, and the laws are very nuanced.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're underage and you're engaging in sexting, take a look at what the laws are in your area, maybe pose a hypothetical question to an adult or someone who's familiar with the laws, so if it's a lawyer or a police officer. Get some more information before you sext, because there are some pretty severe penalties, especially around child pornography and what that means in transmitting images. So if you're underage, if you're under 18, always double check what the laws of consent are in your area, so that you don't potentially put yourself or the person that you're sexting with in danger in harm's way.
Yeah, I think an add-on to that is even if you and the person are both consenting and both underage, it might still be illegal. And so you really, really need to make sure that you understand what the ramifications are. And I also think that if you're a parent or a teacher or a counselor or someone, it's important to know that this is a real thing.
Yeah.
Studies show, I think in 2014 a study was done, and they found that about 50% of teens had engaged in sexting. Even though the number dropped down to less than a third, it was looking at who sent or received explicit images. And so this is real. People are doing it, and so it's important to have a conversation with the people around you and in your lives. If you are a parent or a counselor or something like that, to make sure.
Well, we've talked about this a little bit, but if you think about how people are interacting right now, a lot of communication is happening via technology.
Yeah.
Whether we're texting or it's Facebook Messenger or Snapchat, and so it's not surprising that we're now bringing sexuality and sexual communication into this technology. I think it's always a great opportunity. It's great to talk about our boundaries.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm a consenting adult.
Right.
So legally, I can, I have permission to sext.
Right.
But maybe I don't want to get sext at the office.
Right.
I have an iPhone and I have a Mac computer, and so my text messages come up on my computer. And even in an office where it's friendly, I don't necessarily want sexting or nudie pics coming up on my computer that I am in a shared space with.
Right.
And so it's a conversation to have with partners about when and where it is appropriate to send and receive sexy text messages, and to an extent, what type of stuff you're comfortable communicating about in a text message.
Yeah.
We were talking about this previously, but maybe people are okay sending photos and not text, or text and not photos. There's a whole language with emoji that I don't really understand. So
Like
sex with emojis.
Yeah. So it seems like across the board, the conversation has to be about consent when it comes to sexting.
Yes, just like with like any type of
Yeah,
sex,
yeah.
I think it all boils down to what you guys are comfortable with, and like keeping in mind that things can change, right? And so like just because someone like seems like they're into sexting usually, keeping an eye on it and being like, if you're like, hey, I wish you were here right now, and they're like, thanks. Like, doesn't seem like they're feeling very flirty, so like don't push them. Like, then that's coercion, and like you don't want to force anyone to feel like they have to like talk dirty to you or send photos or anything.
Like if you're not comfortable sending a nude pic, then you shouldn't feel like you should.
Yeah,
you should
exactly.
be pressured too. Yeah.
And it should be reciprocal.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's always
Sexting should be reciprocal. If that's, it doesn't necessarily need to be equal. It doesn't need to be like one-for-one photo.
Right.
But both parties or all the parties involved should be equally participating.
Yeah.
Or it should be agreed that like maybe you're on a bus and your partner's just gonna like send you all of those texts for you to read once you get off the bus.
Right.
Like that's reciprocal. You're engaging in something together. It's not necessarily equal, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I was also going to say, you brought up something that made me think that even if people are consenting to something over text message, it doesn't hold up when you're in person. So saying to someone, I want to do all these things to you, they are not obligated, as no one is obligated to perform any sexual activity, to do that in person.
And that's interesting too, right? Because like there's a certain extent to which so sexting can be the foreplay, right? It can be like the appetizer, like whetting your appetite for when you guys are like finally there together.
Yeah.
But for some people that's the main event. Sometimes like that's like all you're really looking to do.
Right.
And when you're physically together, maybe the things that you're okay saying via text that were sexy then might not even be like that interesting to you in real life. It's still part of a fantasy world.
It might be like, hey, I just want to watch Netflix and go to bed.
Yeah, which is fine. And so but I think it's really important to be talking about it.
Cool. Do you have any sort of closing thoughts? That conversation went by really fast. It's a big, long conversation, but I want to make sure that
big and long
you leave the conversation feeling like you shared with our followers some wisdom, some insight about sexting. Any final things you'd like to say?
Yeah, I think there's some great articles, there's some great research about sexting, and you're going to put a lot of it on our blog after this. One of the things that I'm really into right now is if we're sending racy text messages or photos, it is on the responsibility of the receiver to be a gracious and kind receiver.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the responsibility of the person who's sending a naked photo to not share that with everyone. It's an agreement that you've made with someone else. If they're trusting you to send you a text or a naked photo or a racy photo, it's your job as the receiver to give that person the respect back and keep it between the two of you.
Yeah.
Unless your agreement dictates otherwise. But it's really the responsibility of the receiver to honor this gift that someone is sharing with you and the trust that someone is giving you.
I think same, just like being respectful, just like with any type of like sexual or intimate encounter, just like being aware that like what the other person wants and that you're like really participating in those bounds is really important. It's new, like all of us are still like trying to like figure out like what is the etiquette or like sexting etiquette. And I think that's as long as you're like really communicating about it and kind of like taking the other person's lead as well, I think you should be safe and should be okay.
Mark, anything to add?
Anything to add, buddy?
No.
Just a tail wag. He doesn't send texts, he doesn't have thumbs.
No.
Well, I feel like I learned a lot from this conversation. At the end of the day, sexting is a lot about speaking about it with your partner and making sure that you trust each other and are both in the conversation together equally. As you said, there's a lot of resources out there for our followers about sexting, about digital communication and sexuality. some great books, some great articles that we are going to post on our blog, speakaboutit.online.com/blog. We'll post it on Facebook as well, so you can follow up with this conversation, learn a little bit more, have conversations with your friends and partners about how to safe sext if you want to. So thanks for joining us for Hot Goss. We will be back next month talking about some other cool, fun, sexy stuff. Yeah, have a good afternoon.
Cool. Yay,
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.